Okay, so depending on how I'm thinking about this design, this could be the cover here, which is actually equates to being page 3. That might be the cover. And this might be the back panel, the center one. And this panel here, which is called number 1, might be the folded in panel. Or this could be the inside of the front. This could be the middle center of the inside. And this could be the third page of the inside. It really just depends on how you are thinking about it. It's up to you. So I'm going to add 3 more pages, and how sad is that? I have to do this over again. So 1, and then oh. There we go. Now I'm happy. Now I'm really, really happy. So happy that I'm going to save this. File, save as. So now I have my trifold. Layout. And I don't want it in there, but I'll put it in here. Okay. Basic type layout. I'm really going to focus on just getting you started tonight, understanding some of the overall or overarching concepts of why use InDesign and why it'll make your life better when you're trying to design something large. I can put my Pages panel away for now. I don't need to see that. I don't have a lot of room right now, so I'm going to get some things out of the way here because I need more space. And I'm going to go to the window. Under Window, I'm going to get from the Styles section. This is really important. Paragraph styles. Paragraph styles are really the power tool of InDesign. They're the reason why to use InDesign, in my opinion, because making set of styles that you can use throughout your document and then easily change, this is really the way to go when you're working in InDesign. All right, so I'm going to set about making 3 styles for this document, and I'm starting you off right here in this intermediate place in InDesign because it'll save you time in the long run. So I'm thinking about headline, subhead, and body copy, just those 3 things to start with. This is the text tool. There's also 2 boxes down here that have to do with placing text and placing images, but for now I'm just going to start with this guy here called the type tool. And I'm going to create a box that goes across my margins. I didn't quite fit it, so I'm going to go Command Z and take this type tool again, and I'm really going to click right on the margin now and drag out. And my cursor is flashing or bouncing inside here. And the very first thing that I like to do is I like to make my font really large at the beginning of the process. So even though I haven't typed anything yet, I'm making a 60-point type choice right there. Okay? And I'll just call this one Masthead. Okay? I know it's exciting. Or magazine name, or right, whatever that is going to be. And I'll style this type. I'll select the type, and I'll come up here in my control panel. I want you to notice that there are 2 buttons. One has an A on it, and one has a paragraph formatting control. One is to control just the way it looks as type itself, and the other is to control what multiple lines of this type look like. So this is like the character of it, and this is how it acts in large chunks, paragraphs. Okay? And I don't want Minion Pro, I want something else. And I'm just going to be bold here and go with Folks Bold. There we go. So now, if you look over here at this panel I opened called Paragraph Styles, the text is selected and it says Basic Paragraph Plus. What that means is that InDesign's default paragraph style called Basic Paragraph has been changed. It has been plussed. It has been added to. I don't want to just let that just hang like that. I want to save this as something I can use again. To do that, I'm going to go to this flyout menu and choose New Paragraph Style. And I'm going to call this one Header. And that is it. And click OK. If I double click on that, you can see that I failed to mention that I already had clicked Apply Style to Selection earlier in my life doing InDesign, and therefore that checkbox was already checked on, but it's something you want to make sure is checked on. Because if you don't check that on, then it's just that style, and it doesn't really mean that this is controlling it. You want to make sure that it's actually applying this thing to this other thing. So I'm going to click OK. Now, it saved this in my CC library, and I'm not going to go over that right now. I'm just going to close that. I have it over here in my header, and if I click away with the regular selection tool, and I just try to make some type here, yada yada, and I want it to be this style, 2 clicks, header. So anytime I want header, I now have it ready to go, and it's fabulous, and I love it. Now here's the really big reason why you want to do this. Nothing is selected now, and I need to make a change to this document, and I can double click header, go into the basic character formats, and everywhere in this entire document I have that style. It is now changed in all 398 pages. So once the styles are set and made properly, they can really be easily changed really quickly across the whole document. So I'm going to undo that to here. And now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to select this text, and I'm going to come up to this menu that says Type, and there's one towards the bottom here that says Fill with Placeholder Text. When you choose this choice, it fills the box with this Greeked text, which is nice. And it's header, but I don't want it to be header. So if I click Basic Paragraph, that's how big it is. It's now back to the Basic Paragraph look. Now it's header again. Now it's Basic Paragraph. So if I want this to be a subhead style, I will likely want it somewhere around 30 points. And again, I'm going to change the font. I'm just randomly choosing this one that I've never really used before called Kefa, and I'm very excited about that. What does it say here? Basic Paragraph Plus. Because Basic Paragraph has been changed. I'm going to save this file, New Paragraph Style, as subhead. And now I have my subhead style. And finally, I'm going to make another style here for my body copy. This box does not need to be so large. So here, I'm going to create a column-sized bar. Hang in there, guys. It's not going to take much longer. Well, maybe it will. But I'm going to resize this to be about 14 points, which is kind of large for body copy. And again, I'm going to choose Type, Fill with Placeholder Text. And it thinks it's header plus. It thinks that because that box had header on it, when I made this box, it thinks I want to make another bit of content from this. It's actually, look what happens if I click on this one. There's no plus on header. Can you see that? And when I click on this one, there's a plus on header. So if I wanted a style based on header, this would be a perfect time to do it. Okay, let's say I actually did want the body copy to be the same as that header font. I can do this flyout menu here, and I can do New Paragraph Style, and you'll see what it says here is based on header. It says based on header, this is going to be body header style. And now I'm going to make another one. Hang in there, okay? I'm going to make one more box, but this box I'm going to make sure it's on basic paragraph before I put anything in it. This is the difference. Before, I had header selected when I made the box. This time I have basic paragraph selected when I make the box. And type, fill with placeholder text, and it's basic paragraph, which is Minion Pro 12 on 14.4. You could just use it if that was acceptable to you. And you wouldn't have to do anything. That's what is the basic default font. But I'm not happy with that. I want it to be something else. And I'm going to have it be this thing that I don't know how to pronounce. Let's see here. It's so small, really, I can't read it. Inalmati. That looks cool. And now it's basic paragraph plus. Well, I want to keep this. If I don't save it as a new paragraph style, I won't be able to keep it. And I'll call this one body copy. So it is done. There it is. There are my styles. If I decide 2 seconds later I want body copy to be, instead of 12 points, I want it to be 14, now there's a plus by body copy because I changed it from the original way it looked. I've plussed it. I've changed it. But let's say this is really the way I want it, not the way it was before. I don't want to have to keep on changing it over and over again. Then you can come to the flyout menu and say redefine style, and now it's the right size. So that's kind of like a minimal amount of back and forward, like, well, I changed my mind, or I used the wrong thing. I didn't mean to use the header for the paragraph style, but maybe I did. So it's a little bit of creative license in there. So if I select this type here for subhead, and I decide that 36 points is too loose for my subhead leading, and I want it to look more modern. Let's go the other way here. I want to bring this line up. Now I have a very tight lead, a very tight spacing, very tight spacing for my line height. I want to make sure that any ascender, like an F or a T, looks okay, that the lines are not mashing into each other. So here I'll put an A and then I'll put a P, right? So am I okay with that spacing? But that spacing is now plussed from subhead, so I need to redefine. Now I'm really, really happy, okay? I'm so stoked I can now lay out my whole magazine. That's it. That's how you start the overall decisions about your type. It might take you a day or whatever, a few hours to actually pick the fonts, but once you're really ready to nail it down, those steps that I just showed you are going to be really effective and efficient for laying out your document. So I'm going to close this one now, and then we'll start another one.